There is a kind of office politics that rarely appears in manuals or job descriptions. It is not only about promotions, alliances, or corporate ladders. It is the quiet game of emotional politics at work. Invisible power dynamics, unspoken tensions, wounded egos, projections flying across the room. Many feel confused, exhausted, or even ashamed inside these games, thinking, maybe this is too sensitive, maybe this is imagination. But what looks like just work on the surface is often an entire emotional ecosystem underneath. Learning to read this ecosystem can be the difference between feeling constantly attacked and walking through the same environment with clarity and inner protection. Emotional politics at work are not mainly about gossip. They are about how power and emotion mix. In any workplace, there are unofficial rules about who is allowed to be angry, who is allowed to be soft, who is listened to, who is interrupted. There are people whose egos depend on always being right, managers who collapse when boundaries appear, colleagues who need someone to blame when things go wrong. These dynamics are not written anywhere, but they shape decisions, projects, meetings, even who burns out first. Seeing these patterns is not paranoia, it is emotional literacy. One of the first skills in this game is learning to read the emotional climate before reacting. In the same way the weather is checked before leaving home, the emotional weather of the room can be checked before speaking. Is the room tense, with shoulders up, short sentences, eyes avoiding contact? Is it scattered, with people distracted, making nervous jokes? Is it calm and focused? The same sentence said in these three climates will land completely differently. Without noticing climate, many walk into a storm dressed for a picnic and then wonder why everything hurts. Reading climate starts with the body. The nervous system often notices the atmosphere before the mind does. Maybe the jaw tightens when a certain manager enters. Maybe the stomach twists when a project is mentioned. Maybe the chest feels heavy in some meetings and lighter in others. Emotional politics at work are felt in the body. This is not a call to analyze every sensation, but to respect them as information. The body might be saying, this is not safe to open fully. Or here, there is space to speak. Or something hidden is happening under the surface. Another crucial element is projection. At work, people rarely see each other as they are. Instead, they see parental shadows, old teachers, past bullies, former partners, and fears about themselves. A calm colleague might be perceived as arrogant by someone who fears being small. A confident boundary might be perceived as aggressive by someone who has never seen healthy limits. A simple question might be received as an attack by someone whose ego is already bleeding. These projections create emotional politics, private films playing in people's minds, thrown onto whoever is available. Recognizing projection does not mean accepting disrespect. It means understanding when something is not truly personal. When a mild mistake is treated like a crime, when a neutral comment receives an explosion, when a success attracts unexpected coldness, there is often an old story behind it. In those moments, one question can help. How much of this belongs here, and how much might belong to something older in this person? This question does not excuse harmful behavior, but it can remove a layer of self-blame. The attack might sting less when it is seen as a wounded ego protecting itself, not a divine verdict about worth. Power is at the heart of emotional politics. Power is not only the person with the highest title. It is anyone who can strongly influence how safe or unsafe others feel. Some hold power through formal authority, some through charisma, some through information, some through alliances. Emotional politics become toxic when power is used to soothe private insecurity instead of serve collective work. A manager who publicly humiliates to feel superior, a colleague who hoards information to stay relevant, a team member who uses tears as a shield against feedback, all are playing emotional politics with power. The question then becomes, how to protect inner life in such environments without hardening into cynicism. One option is emotional armor. Never care, never show, never trust. This can feel safe for a while, but over time it turns the heart into stone. The other extreme is total openness, sharing everything with everyone, absorbing every mood, trying to heal the entire office. This leads to exhaustion and resentment. A middle path is needed. Open eyes, soft heart, clear spine. The eyes see what is happening without denial. The heart stays capable of kindness. The spine holds limits. Limit setting in emotional politics is often subtle. It is not always a dramatic confrontation. It can be a calm, "Let's keep this conversation on the work, not on the person." It can be choosing not to participate when the meeting slowly turns into character assassination of the one colleague who is not present. It can be saying, "This joke makes me uncomfortable," with a steady tone, even if the room laughs. It can be ending a conversation when someone insists on pulling into drama. This can be revisited when everyone is calmer. These are small, strategic moves, protecting integrity without starting wars. Another skill is choosing where to place emotional truth. Not everyone at work is a safe place for vulnerability. Sharing deep fears with someone who uses them later as ammunition is not being authentic. It is walking unprotected into an emotional battlefield. Emotional politics require discernment. Who shows consistent behavior? Who respects boundaries? Who can hold a confidence? Sometimes, one or two people in the workplace can be trusted for more honest conversations, while with others, the wise choice is polite distance. Strategy is not fakeness. Strategy is self-respect. There is also the question of reputation. In emotional politics, reputation is like a currency. It is built slowly through patterns of behavior. How conflicts are handled, whether promises are kept, whether one is known for drama or for steadiness. Defending reputation by arguing against every rumor or misunderstanding is a losing game. Instead, a steady pattern over time speaks louder than any speech. When gossip appears, silence plus consistent behavior can be more powerful than long explanations. Emotional politics reward those who can play the long game, choosing integrity even when the room is confused. Sensitivity in toxic environments can feel like a curse. Those who easily feel the emotional climate are often the first to get tired, the first to sense when something is off, and sometimes the first to be labeled as too emotional or too intense. But in the game of emotional politics, sensitivity is also a strategic advantage. It can detect shifts early, sense which alliances are truly healthy, notice when a team is on the edge of burnout, recognize when a manager is under pressure from above and about to pass it down. The key is learning to use sensitivity as radar, not as a sponge. Radar notices and reports. Sponge absorbs everything and becomes heavy. Using sensitivity as radar means choosing what to do with the information received. For example, noticing that a colleague is unusually sharp one day does not automatically require absorbing their tone. It can simply lead to a quiet inner sentence. Something is off for them. This is probably not about me. If a team is tense all week, sensitivity might suggest moving important personal requests to a calmer moment. If a manager is clearly defensive, sensitivity might recommend choosing a more neutral language and sticking to facts. The emotion is observed and then used strategically. Playing the game consciously also involves knowing when to disengage. Not every conflict is worth entering. Not every comment requires a response. Some situations are emotional traps. Endless circular discussions, hidden competitions dressed as collaboration, meetings that exist only to exhaust. In these cases, one of the healthiest moves can be the silent withdrawal of emotional investment. Doing what is needed with competence, but no longer pouring hard into dynamics that never change. This is different from giving up on work. It is giving up on rescuing those who do not want to leave their patterns. Sometimes, the most strategic move in toxic emotional politics is not a clever sentence, but a decision about future direction. When a workplace is so deeply toxic that the nervous system is in constant alarm, when psychological safety is non-existent, when repeated attempts at healthy conversation are mocked or punished, staying becomes a form of self-abandonment. There is courage in leaving, not as escape from discomfort, but as alignment with dignity. The inner question then becomes, is this environment compatible with the life the soul wants? If the answer is consistently no, the most powerful boundary might be to design a path out. Still, many environments are not entirely toxic. They are mixed. There is dysfunction and also good intentions, fear and also care. In these middle spaces, emotional politics can be navigated with nuance. Some days may ask for more protection, others allow more openness. Some teams may feel safer than others. Proposals for healthier communication can sometimes be welcomed, setting meeting norms, encouraging feedback that is specific and kind, inviting check-ins about workload and stress. While no one individual can save an organization, one regulated system can influence the field around it. Calm can be contagious too. Humor can also be a weapon used with wisdom. In heavy emotional climates, a light, non-sarcastic joke can release pressure, as long as it does not target anyone personally. It can underline the absurdity of some patterns without shaming people. For example, when everyone is overworking for a last-minute false emergency, a playful, looks like the urgent for no reason ritual has begun again might help the room see the pattern. Used carefully, humor can reduce fear and ego defensiveness, opening a small window for more honest conversation. Spiritually, emotional politics at work can be seen as a training ground. They invite questions like, what part of this is a mirror of old family dynamics? Where does the inner child still seek approval from authority? How does power trigger hidden fears of worth or visibility? Viewed this way, offices are not only places of tasks and salaries, but also classrooms of self-knowledge. Each difficult interaction can become an opportunity to practice a new inner response, standing firm, staying kind, refusing humiliation, choosing when and how to engage. The game then stops being only about external winning and starts including inner alignment. Over time, learning the game of emotional politics at work does not mean becoming manipulative. It means becoming less naive and less available for unnecessary harm. Emotional climates are read with more precision. Projections are recognized without being swallowed. Egos are understood without being constantly fed. Sensitivity is honored and guided, not shamed. Boundaries become clearer. Positioning becomes more confident and less reactive. The same workplace may still have storms, but inside there is more shelter. If this reflection on emotional politics at work brought recognition, discomfort, or a sense of, finally, this is being named, that in itself is part of the training. Awareness is the first move on the emotional chessboard. For more content on emotional healing, nervous system literacy, strategic inner work, and spiritual psychology, subscribing to this channel keeps these explorations close. Liking this video helps these ideas reach others who feel confused in their work environments. Sharing it with someone silently suffering under emotional politics might offer a new language. And if one specific pattern at work became clearer while listening, naming it in the comments can be the beginning of playing this game with more wisdom and less self-sacrifice.